What is up, guys? Welcome to the 22nd day of Anomaly sequence. Today I'm going to be going over pretty much just what I did on the third day of the TradeFlow competition, right? Showcasing you guys a little bit of my thought process, trying to be as transparent as possible, where I go over the trades that I've taken, the trades that I shoot, and giving you guys a little bit of a feel on, what it looks like when I'm on my execution time frame, what it looks like when I'm looking at, let's say, specific things to occur, and hopefully kind of already start implementing things that you guys have learned from the public playlist, from Anomaly sequence, and seeing how they look like in practice, right? In like a practical time being. So these are pretty much the 3 days so far. Obviously, great start of October. After yesterday's day in the competition, pretty much that Thursday, right, I misfired, and I'll go into the M15. If you haven't watched that video, please feel free to check the previous one out. That was day 2 of the competition. And obviously it's weekend, day 4 and day 5, so I personally am not going to be trading crypto or anything to try to slap onto the leaderboard. So for me, I'll be continuing on Monday. But overall, you can see kind of the same concept that I was doing from pretty much just the first day, right? Trade 1, where the refire was trade 2, and then you can see exactly where I was planning to partake in the market on that Friday. Something about Fridays, right? Fridays are usually a little bit offbeat, out of your pocket, due to the fact that you don't usually see a whole flip occur, or like a switch on a Friday, right? At the end of the day, Fridays can do one of two things. They will usually distribute remaining volume in the opposing direction, or they will amplify a continuation of the entire week, right? Rarely do you get something that, if you've been spot on Wednesday, Thursday in the market, you will see like a complete reverse on Friday. That barely happens. So that's something to take into account. Again, H4, right? What made the trade on Wednesday, the first day of that TradeFlow competition, what made that so nice is that we had a beautiful tap into, let's say, an extreme, right? Into that H4 imbalance that was higher up. Midpoint was holding, and we were playing to these local lows. That was the game. You can literally see the move that we did here on H4, just understanding fractals and all that good stuff. Then Thursday, same concept, trying to play all this sell-side liquidity, right? And then what do you notice, right? One of two things which made Friday really interesting is that we had something along these lines, right? We had price coming back here, no follow through here, but we had a data low that we wanted to target. This data low was pretty much the entire target for the week after, and which acted as your main draw on liquidity. So let's dive into the lower time frame, showcase you a little bit where I wanted to execute, what the day was looking like. You can already kind of see it, right? You can already see pretty much the move that I fumbled on Thursday, right? That was this. I got knocked out right here with divergence, with spread. If you haven't seen the video, again, please feel free to check that out. H1 printed an imbalance like this, which looked super neat in my opinion, right? H1 printed this imbalance, which gives you an array that you can then target to trade into and away from. We had a data low, which was here, which was really nice, and that was pretty much your target overall. I personally didn't take buy-side longs on a Friday into that area, as there were a couple guys which were trading into the H1 imbalances, into that open pocket right there, into H1. Super valid to do, not my personal cup of tea. Here, rocket science. It really isn't rocket science. Previous daily high gets swept, right? Simple as previous daily high gets swept, and then you're just looking for entries, right? PDH, very simple, right? Stuff like this. Previous daily high gets taken out. We have a pocket right here. What do you notice from this pocket, right? There's no follow through. price coming into an H1 bullish array, distributing above previous daily high, and this is where you start looking. This is where you set your alert, you put your alert right here, you start looking for execution pattern timeframes, and that occurred. It wasn't the cleanest whatsoever. It was actually anything but clean in my opinion, but this is where it started to get nice, right? So sure, textbook and theoretically you have your M15 shift here, right? This is your M15 shift. You know, you guys just watched a video about the M15 shift. That was day 21 of Anomaly sequence, literally the video about before this. That's why I wanted to make that video, to showcase you guys a little bit more information. But M15, nothing else, right? In this entire move here, no arrays being created whatsoever, nothing. But this is where I then got involved, playing this move in smaller fractals, right, and allowing you to pretty much just print towards the lows, right? And that was it, right? It was very, very, very simple. You can already see it. So this was the trade that I went for on Friday, keeping this SL quite nice, and then, you know, taking partials right here. Then we got a full delivery, which was nuts. Sorry, I'm trying to showcase you guys this area. Here, local low as your first T1, and then, you know, the low, the protraction low that was printed, that then became obviously your final target, internal target, right? Do you notice one or two things right here? Up until literally this candle here, you can see that there is no arrays, right? No arrays in this entire range right here. All of this. No arrays whatsoever. No imbalances, nothing. Everything is closed. Closed, closed, closed. Wicks, 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 wicks. Everything's closed here. And then the moment it opens up is the moment you can start being a little bit more aggressive, right? That is the moment that you're looking for something. That is the moment that you understand that, hey, I need to start paying attention. Invalidation point is tight, which is great. But aside from that, you know, what we're looking at is to see some sort of actual continuation to the downside. What we see is price going lower. We see price picking up, coming back into this position, and we see price going in our anticipated direction. So I hope that kind of makes sense to you guys. Very, very clean management. When it comes to this area, P1 right here, I took pretty much 60% of the position, seeing as it is a Friday. And I just wanted to make sure that we actually had a continuation to the downside. You can see that price kind of slowed down just a little bit. Immediate rebalance, full stop, hold, and that's that. So again, M15, personally, you know, you can see continuations on M5 as well. Made it a little bit clearer, but for me, there was no reason to go into M5 just yet, right? This was actually just quite clean on M15. Your break is there, right here. I was okay with this. This is all pre-shift, right? You know, all pre-shift when it comes to this point. Many people will get very confused with that. Many people will get confused from the fact that, hey, this is where we are looking at, let's say, the new low, but this low doesn't create a new high, right? So you don't need this one to be your area. So what we're looking at, what we're doing here is this area right here, body close. This is where we get body closes under the shift. That makes it valid for you to potentially re-enter. But for me, I didn't need that. I was okay with this invalidation point. I see the first imbalance that's created, right? The first imbalance that's created after we sweep previous daily high. Simple as. These things are super doable if you just understand when you're playing off of an H4 a higher time frame imbalance. Fails twice, then you see follow through, then you can enter. So I hope that you guys enjoyed. That was day 3 of the TradeFlow competition, and I'll see you guys next week with the next one.